Hello, everybody. My name is Nerdy Lover, and welcome back to episode number 3 of our Premier League betting series here on YouTube. Before we get into today's selections, we're going to look at the weekend just gone, recap our results, a little discussion, and a little bit of the stats on how well we're doing right now. So our weekend selection started off with Aston Villa versus Everton, a game that really didn't pick up until Gordon's strike in the 25th minute. That kind of appeared to wake up Aston Villa as Danny Ings scored 6 minutes later with a really solid solo goal in the 31st minute to give Aston Villa the lead. Aston Villa took charge of the game from there and could have scored another by the end of the first half, and they did eventually make it 2-0 courtesy of Buendia in the 86th minute. But unfortunately, Digne's own goal rather, did kill off our Premier League accumulator really before it had a chance to begin. But some credit goes to Everton. In the last 5 minutes and stoppage time, they really did come on and play some strong attacking football. It was nice to see Salomon Rondon come on, and he changed kind of the way they looked up top. It gave them like a central focus point, which Gordon just doesn't provide. But also, it was a simple case of too little too late as Villa escaped with a win. And we started off our weekend with a nice £14.40 pickup. And that's about as good as it got, really. Wolves failed to convert their chances in their game, and after Mitrovic's missed penalty, or a good save from Jose Sa, to be fair, the draw no bet didn't come off for us. But that was the reason we did the draw no bets. You know, in the event of the draw, we did get our stake back, so we didn't win or lose. But most importantly, we didn't make any money, so we had a little wobble there. Then Man United played Brentford in the Saturday evening game, and things went from bad to worse for us. Considering that Manchester United had beaten Brentford both times last season, and I wasn't overly impressed with Brentford on the first day, and I thought Man United were, yes, okay, not great, but figured they'd be able to score a couple of goals. You know, part of it was De Gea's poor goalkeeping, but actually going the other way, Manchester United just didn't have any creative ability at all. I think potentially the combination of Fernandes and Eriksen, they were bullied in the middle of midfield. They're both small, creative sort of players, but shy away from a physical challenge, and Brentford's midfield is full of those tough engine room physical midfielders. So this game really played into the hands of Thomas Frank and Brentford, and Man United got utterly ripped to shreds, losing 4-0. It could have been worse, but I think Brentford were just hoping to, in the second half at least, defend the win they already had and not risk being countered upon by going forward anymore. Unfortunately, we lost £20 there. And then we brought the weekend to a close on Sunday, as West Ham failed to produce any goals from their chances they created. Rice is in my bad books. His missed penalty lacked both placement and power. And Ben Rama's free kick was so good, so close, but yet so far, as it did clip the post. And it does make you sound a bit bitter when you say comments like this, but Forest were quite lucky for their goal. It's ball went forward, deflected off the West Ham defender, and was bundled into the net. You know, it's the type of goal you expect from a team that's really not good enough in this division, and I think I was right to back West Ham in the end. It's just, in another world, in another place, in another time, West Ham would have won, but you can't dwell on it, so we took the £20 loss there, and that's not a strong Premier League record. Let's have a look at the numbers on the right-hand side of the screen. Unfortunately for that weekend, we lost £30.60 across our bets. That takes our overall record to minus £6.86, and it brings our win percentage down to only 50%. As I said in my last Premier League video, you want to aim for 60-65% consistently to be making good margins on your betting. So 50% win rate means we are down by less than a tenner, but we're still down. But hopefully we can turn that around, onwards and upwards. And let's start recapping as we look forward to the games this weekend. We're going to kick off with Leicester versus Southampton. Neither side have started incredibly well this year, with both sitting in the lower half of the table with a single point to their name. However, Leicester will feel confident on their ability to get a result against Southampton. It's a side that they have beaten in each of the last 5 league games. You have to go back to a 1-0 pre-pandemic win in January of 2020 for Southampton's last positive result against Leicester City. Now, Southampton did show good fight in their ability to come back from a 2-0 deficit against Leeds United in their last game, so there is a little bit of hope. However, in the most recent match between Leicester and Southampton, Leicester did romp out as 4-1 winners in a very convincing display. The Saints will need something to bounce their way, as there is a lot of chatter right now about Ralph Hasenhüttl's job security, and rumours floating around that he may have lost the dressing room. Leicester City at home are valued at about even money. I think it's really solid value, so I'm going to be backing Brendan Rodgers' men here in our first bet of the weekend. Game number 2 takes us to Goodison Park as Everton welcome Nottingham Forest. I've not been incredibly impressed with the attacking talent on display for either Everton or Nottingham Forest. In 3 of the 4 games featuring these sides so far in this young season, we have seen under 2.5 goals, with Everton losing 1-0 to Chelsea on the opening day of the season, and then Forest losing 2-0 on their first day of the season, and then winning 1-0 against West Ham. Additionally, Everton are only averaging 4 shots on goal this year, which is poor, but Forest can beat that as they are only averaging 3 shots on target. So my question is, how are you expecting to score if you can't get shots on target and you can't make the goalkeeper work? Unless something dramatic changes, I think I'm fairly confident on going under 2.5 goals in Everton versus Forest. We could be looking at a 1-0 or a 1-all. A 2-0 would surprise me based on the attacking talent we've seen, but you never know. So I'm reasonably confident here with a under 2.5 goal selection on Betfair. That does seem to be the way the market is thinking right now. At odds of between 1.8 and 1.9, we can get a decent return for our £20 investment. So yeah, Everton Forest under 2.5 goals. Our next selection takes us to West London, and more specifically Craven Cottage, as Fulham host Brentford in the first West London derby of the season. Now, not accounting for the Championship playoffs a couple of years ago, Brentford have a very strong record against their hosts, winning each of the last 3 meetings without conceding a single goal. Now, how much stock you want to put into this statistics can be questionable, as all of these games took place a number of years ago in the Championship, even before the COVID pandemic. Basically, Brentford's side is completely new since then. But I would argue it's even stronger now in the Premiership than it was in the Championship, so I am putting a little bit of stock into these numbers. From what I've seen of these sides this season, they are competitive and they are willing to fight for the right to remain in the Premiership. Brentford definitely showed that in their 4-0 win against Man United, and Fulham battled very well against Liverpool on the opening day. Mitrovic was on fire in that particular game, but he did let the side down as his penalty was saved against Wolves on match day 2. Nevertheless, the competition is definitely there from Fulham, but I think this might play into the hands of Brentford. They've been fantastic this year, drawing their first game against European football chasing Leicester City and demolishing Manchester United, as mentioned just now. I think the problem that Fulham have had the last couple times they have come up is they've tried to play football as opposed to defending and kind of keeping tight at the back, and I'm afraid that's how I see this game going once again for Fulham. We could go all in on Brentford here at odds of about 2-1, which is really favourable, but I think the safe money is in laying Fulham, so Brentford double chance, for example. On the exchange, we can get odds of roughly 6/10 or 1.6. I think the smart money goes there, so we'll put a full stake of £20 on Brentford to win or to draw the game. If Brentford take the lead at some point, which I'm guessing they will, we will probably put some money on Fulham to win, to either make sure we can't lose or to guarantee a win no matter which of the 3 selections happen. So that's the bet, Brentford's double chance. The final selection here on the Premier League version of our football betting show is going to be a double. And we're going to start off with the first leg, which is Bournemouth hosting Arsenal. Arsenal have looked really strong this year, quite promising. I thought Jesus was a shrewd acquisition, but I did not expect him to get off to the hot start that he has. scoring 2 goals and assisting another 2 in his first 2 games in the Premier League for Arsenal. Bournemouth are without a clean sheet in each of the 11 games they have played against Arsenal, and I have little reason to think they're going to be able to stop the Gunners from firing off here. Bournemouth did stand little chance against Manchester City in the Premier League last week. And whilst I do rate City higher than Arsenal, the gap does appear to have been closed a little bit in this season with the acquisition of Zinchenko and Jesus. Not much more of a deeper analysis needs to be done here. Arsenal are away from home. They're roughly 1-2, and we will be adding them as the first leg of our double. The second leg of our double is Leeds taking on Chelsea. Chelsea are unbeaten in the last 8 straight meetings with Leeds, picking up 5 wins in the last 6 encounters. Now, both sides come into this fixture particularly frustrated, as both drew 0-0 in the last match day. Both gave up winning positions as well. Leeds allowed a 2-0 lead to slip against Southampton, and Chelsea were pegged back by a 96th minute equaliser courtesy of Harry Kane's head. Now, unfortunately for Leeds, it looks like Chelsea will be trying to take some of their anger out on them here. Now, despite some questions about the striking position, Chelsea should have enough firepower to score 1 or 2 goals past a leaky Leeds defence. A defence which has failed to keep a clean sheet in each of the last Premier League fixtures, a record which dates back to April of last season. Once again, Chelsea are away from home and are roughly 1-2, so we're going to be combining them with Arsenal for our double here. And it's going to be another full stake of £20. So that's our final bet of the episode. So let's jump across to the spreadsheet and recap what we're thinking about this weekend. Okie dokie, so we have 4 bets up for selection on this weekend's schedule. All 4 are taking place on the Saturday. Oh, actually, that's not true. Chelsea kick off on the Sunday. All bets start on the Saturday. We're going to take Leicester to beat Southampton, odds of 1.88. £20 stake to return, £17.60. Everton will host Nottingham Forest. We're taking under 2.5 goals on that game. 0.87 are the odds. £20 stake to return, £17.40. You could take Brentford at 2-1 to beat Fulham, but I think the safe money is with Brentford double chance or laying Fulham on the exchange. Odds come to roughly 1.64, and a £20 stake sees a 12.82 return. And finally, we have a double. Arsenal will be playing Bournemouth and hope to pick up the win. And similarly, on the Sunday, Chelsea are away to Leeds. We add those 2 selections together to get odds of 1.15, £20 stake to return 23. So this weekend we will be risking £80 in order to hopefully pick up £70.82 and hopefully improve on our record in the Premiership. If you got to this point in the video, please drop a like. Thank you very much for watching. My name has been Nerdy Lover, and as always, have yourself a lovely day.